Hey kids, it's August 5th, Wednesday. Because the younger one of you is still sick with chickenpox, both your mother and I were home again today. It was actually a good day. We had a little lunch date, although the younger one of you joined us, so I'm not sure how much that officially counts as a date. Then we went to that ice cream place your mother loves. We had some ice cream, came home. I picked the older one of you up from school. We had dinner, and now everybody is upstairs in bed. Today I want to talk about change. This is a huge topic, so I'm sure we'll return to it many times from different angles. But there is one thing I've noticed throughout my life. People react to change very differently. Some people see change and immediately think about everything they may lose. Others look at the exact same situation and wonder what they might gain. I have usually belonged to the second group, maybe 90% of the time. That doesn't mean I never worry. It certainly doesn't mean every change feels good. But I have learned that many of the best things in my life began with uncertainty. Moving to another country meant leaving behind familiar places, friends, routines, and a version of myself that understood how everything worked. Changing jobs meant starting again, new people, new expectations, having to prove myself. And then your mother and I became parents. That was perhaps the biggest change of all. Our lives changed almost overnight. Sleep disappeared, free time disappeared, predictability definitely disappeared. And yet, if someone offered me the chance to go back to the life I had before those changes, I wouldn't take it. Not because the changes were easy, they weren't. But each one gave me something I could not fully imagine beforehand. And right now, we are living through another enormous period of change. Artificial intelligence is changing how people work, learn, build, communicate, and create. Entire industries are being reshaped. Some jobs will disappear, new ones will appear. Skills that are extremely valuable today may become ordinary surprisingly quickly. There is a line I've heard many times recently. Change has never happened this fast, and it will never happen this slowly again. Whether that sentence is literally true doesn't matter that much to me. The message does. The world is not going to slow down simply because we would prefer more time to adjust. So perhaps the more useful question is not, how do I stop change? Most of the time we can't. A better question is, how do I become someone who can adapt? Think about standing in the sea. A wave comes toward you. You can make your entire body rigid and try to stop it. The wave does not care. It keeps coming. Or you can move with it, adjust your balance, maybe step backward, maybe jump over part of it, then continue. The wave does not care which option you choose. Reality often works the same way. We sometimes suffer not only because something changed, but because we keep demanding that it return to what it was. I have experienced that many times in my career. A new job, a new team, a new responsibility. Almost every major transition felt uncomfortable at first. I would sometimes think, did I make a mistake? Maybe I should have stayed where I was. I knew what I was doing there. Then something interesting would happen. Slowly, the unfamiliar became familiar. I learned the people. I understood the work. I became capable again. And eventually, the new situation became normal. Sometimes I reached a point where going back to the old one would have felt like the uncomfortable change. That taught me that often the difficult part is not change itself. It is letting go of what is familiar. The familiar feels safe partly because we already know it. The new thing may eventually be much better, but we don't know that yet. We only know what we are giving up. That uncertainty is what makes change difficult. Nature gives us a useful image here too. We often think strength means being solid like a rock, and sometimes it does. But in a strong storm, something completely rigid can crack. Something flexible can bend and survive. I don't want to push the analogy too far. A rock has its advantages too. But there is an important lesson there. Flexibility can be a form of strength. That does not mean changing your beliefs every time the wind changes direction. Actually, I think periods of rapid change make your values even more important. Technology changes, jobs change, markets change, companies change, governments change, your circumstances change. But qualities such as honesty, kindness, courage, curiosity, discipline, and fairness do not suddenly become useless because a new technology arrives. So one principle I want you to remember is, let your principles be stable enough to guide you and your methods flexible enough to adapt. Your values can act like a lighthouse. The sea around you may change, the weather may become terrible, your route may need to change completely, but you still have something helping you decide which direction matters. There is another mistake I hope you avoid. Do not build your entire identity around things that can disappear. I am my job. I am my title. I am successful because I work for this company. I am important because people know my name. Those things may all disappear, sometimes very quickly. Instead, build more of your identity around qualities you can carry with you. I learn. I adapt. I keep my word. I stay curious. I can begin again. I treat people properly. If a company disappears, you still have those things. If a job disappears, you still have them. If you move countries, change careers, or lose status, they come with you. Nobody can guarantee that your circumstances will remain stable. So become someone who does not require perfect stability to remain themselves. When I look back, many of the happiest chapters of my life began with a sentence that could easily have frightened me at the time. Everything is about to change. Moving countries, changing jobs, meeting your mother, getting married, becoming parents. Every one of those moments contained uncertainty, and many became some of the greatest gifts of my life. Of course, change does not guarantee improvement. That would be a silly thing to tell you. Sometimes change makes things worse. Sometimes you lose something valuable. Sometimes you make the wrong decision. Sometimes change arrives without your permission and hurts enormously. That is exactly why it is uncertain. But uncertainty also means the future is not completely closed. Something new can become possible. So when you eventually stand at the edge of a major change, whether you chose it or not, don't ask only, "What might I lose?" Ask that question. It matters. But also ask, "What might I gain? What could I learn? What new possibilities does this create? And perhaps most importantly, what kind of person could I become because of this?" Sometimes the answer will still be, "I don't want this change." That is okay. Adaptation does not mean pretending to love everything that happens to you. It means seeing reality clearly enough to decide what to do next. That is also where Stoicism becomes useful. We cannot demand that life remain unchanged, but we can influence how we meet what changes. We can learn, adjust, prepare, choose our response, keep moving, and try not to lose ourselves while doing it. I don't think the future necessarily belongs to the strongest person, or even the smartest. Strength can become rigidity. Intelligence can become arrogance. But people who keep learning, keep adapting, and remain grounded in their values give themselves a very good chance of surviving whatever comes next. So kids, don't fear change simply because it is change. Respect it. Think carefully. Protect what genuinely matters, but don't hold so tightly to the familiar that you refuse something better simply because you cannot see it yet. Keep your values. Keep your curiosity. Stay flexible. Be willing to start again. Because change is inevitable. Growth is optional. And whenever you have the choice, I hope you choose growth. And do not ever forget, I love you both very, very much.